Hi, girl. How are you? No, I'm good. I'm just busy ironing my clothes. So, I was wondering, based on that conversation we had the other day, how about seeing that you're the chief financial officer of the company and that I oversee all the invoicing, we could actually take some bit of the money and open our own company. What do you think about that? That'll be so cool. I know, right? I can't wait. Yeah, I'll speak to you later about that. Nobody will know. Only you and me. Bye. It was so funny. Yeah, he's such an idiot. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh my. What? What is that sound? Oh my gosh. It's so loud. Yeah. Someone said the building's on fire, so yeah, like the loud sound. So we have to follow the emergency situation. Yeah. Okay, I'll get you there right now. Okay, bye. Be safe. Yeah, nobody's here. Hi, girl. No, I'm good, and you? No, I was just, I'm at work. So I was like going on Facebook, and then an ad came up. And I saw this cool jeans that we spoke about on Shine's website, and then I went in and it crashed. Yeah, I think someone hacked my computer. So I'm not able to do anything. It's just frozen. Yeah, I'll have to call the IT guy. Yeah, it's so unfortunate, I guess, but it's life, eh? Yeah, I'll speak to you later. Bye.
Recovery time objective defines the time scale within which recovery time should take place, whether it is hours or days. This is the length of time a business can cease to operate its business working hours. Therefore, it is able to tolerate the time scale on one business day and the RTO on another business day. The recovery point objective defines the time period within which the organization should recover. For example, between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night. For example, if an organization backups its company at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. and the following day the backup fails, it means that that organization can only use the previous day's backup to help. Hi, good day everyone, my name is Justin Johnson and I will be continuing to speak on disaster recovery plan. Over the last decade, organizations has changed dramatically and has undergone non-technical and technical changes. Organizations operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, competition also increased, and customer needs are also met with just a click of a mouse. Even a small business or organization needs technology to compete in the global market today, or even to remain relevant. It is near impossible to use a computer from 5 to 10 years ago or to not have a computer at all in your organization. For example, organizations today need computers, emails, internet access and telephones, etc. Although modern technologies have been implemented in the organization, they may need help from external contractors such as IT specialists that are not involved in the organization. Today, because of all the numerous interdependencies, an organization is not immune to risk. Therefore, detecting, minimizing and lowering the risk has become an important day-to-day thing in an organization. Traditional methods of protection for an organization would be an insurance policy. This provides key protection against damage such as floods or fires or whatever the organization is covered by. However, in today's organizations, they require a bit more than that. Today I will cover a few ways on how to protect your organization in the form of an act when an IT disaster takes place. Hope you guys enjoy!
How do companies lose data? Computer data is a virtual rather than a physical item. and cannot be protected by security guards, guard dogs, or insurance. Many do not invest in sufficient costs and resources to perform regular system backups and install suitable antivirus software because they believe that if an old and used computer fails to function, it can simply be discarded in the same way as other electrical appliances. Some do not have suitable and appropriately qualified members of technical staff to maintain their computer systems. Therefore, an external contractor is hired. Lack of appropriate, uninterrupted power supplies can also cause disk failures, resulting in loss of data. Data is stored haphazardly on outdated floppy disk, CD-ROMs, local hard disk, pen drives, USB sticks, etc. They may not budget for the cost or appropriate and adequate antivirus software tool. A virus can attack and wipe out years of data very quickly.
As we can see in the video, the employee has got no physical training on disaster recovery planning. There are a few ways to prevent whatever that employee was going through. Those ways include having a hardware or software storage device. I'll first start off by the hardware storage device, which is an external storage device. This external storage device can hold from either 100 gigabytes up to 1 or 2 terabytes of storage. This is a USB. A USB can hold from 1 gigabyte to 32 gigabytes of storage as well. When saving a copy of a PowerPoint, a Word document, or an Excel spreadsheet, it's always best to have a second copy of it on either an external hard drive or a USB. When saving important documents onto software devices, it's always best to have a file open on your desktop. A data file is used in organizations in order to have a secondary option whenever the first option fails, whenever they need to restore different types of documents. An alternative to hardware storage can also be software storage, which is also your Dropbox, which falls under the category of cloud storage. Your Google Drive and the Dropbox are also collectively important when working in an organization. Now that we have covered disaster recovery plans for information technology, we move on to disaster recovery plans for pandemics such as COVID-19 in the organization. I have prepared a video which shows you how to wear a mask and how to also wash your hands and how to prevent yourself from getting COVID-19. And also, if you have already had COVID-19, how to prevent others from getting it as well as a backup disaster recovery plan.
Here are the basics of how to wear a mask. Clean your hands before you put a mask on. Make sure it covers both your nose, mouth, and chin. Before you remove your mask, sanitize your hands again. When you take off a mask, store it in a clean plastic bag. Either wash it if it is fabric or dispose of a medical mask in a trash bin. Do not use a mask with veils. Use these steps to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Roll up your sleeves. Rinse hands in clean water and apply soap to the palm of your hand. Rub your palms together. Rub tips of nails against palms and then swap hands. Rub fingers between each other. Place one hand over back of the other and between your fingers swap hands. Grip your fingers together and rub it. Rub each thumb with your opposite palm. Rinse your hands with clean water and with a dry towel.
Different companies have different approaches when it comes to disaster recovery planning for COVID-19. Most organizations inform their employees via email. The emails were sent out so that employees can determine whether or not they were in close contact with the person. This is why it is important to take precautionary steps such as sanitizing your hands, wearing your mask, and keeping your 1.5 meter distance. Now that you guys have seen the video on disaster recovery plan for COVID-19, I'm going to give it over to our next speaker, named Nyakaza.
These meetings, man, these people never know what we actually want in these meetings. Talking about working from home as if we all have laptops. I'm using a work laptop now, so how's it gonna work anyway? Hello? Yeah, I don't understand how they're planning to make this work from home thing happen when we need the system and we need the network to be operational for us to even do our jobs. Like all of our content that we have is basically on the network. So are we gonna have to take the desktops to work, or we're gonna have to take the PCs home now and lug everything? And how are they gonna give us Wi-Fi and the internet? How's that gonna work out? Because some of us don't even have Wi-Fi. I know there's 10 people in my department who don't even have Wi-Fi. So how are we gonna get this done? Does that mean now we're gonna have to pay people for the Wi-Fi that they're using at their works, or they're gonna have to buy Wi-Fi and get a dongle themselves? How's this all gonna work out? It's not making sense to me. As a whole, they didn't even explain it fairly. This pamphlet that they gave us, this pamphlet they gave us it's like a new contract now. It's full of everything, but it doesn't tell us the specifics of what's going on. And this disaster recovery plan that they're talking about doesn't seem like it's gonna be a vibe. Plus, yeah, we'll talk again. It looks like we have another meeting scheduled now. I'll see you again. We'll talk again. Bye bye. So when coming up with a disaster recovery plan, it is always recommended that you know the nitty-gritties of how you're going to go about that process. And when you're working things out like that, like for our example that we use, for my example, the work from home strategy, you have to be aware of people's socioeconomic backgrounds and socioeconomic issues of Wi-Fi, availability to Wi-Fi, all of that, and where individuals live. The plan has to be very incorporative of that. So a perfect example of that is one of my siblings who works for a call center. They were also asked to work from home, and a major issue that they ended up having was access to internet. And another thing was monitoring of work. So a lot of people weren't performing as they were at the office, so they were being asked to come back to the office so that they can be monitored. That's something that should be established way before you even sending people home. And another incident that happened was that a lot of people's PCs were breaking because of the different, obviously we're going to have to go into technology about that, but the different power sources that come with different houses and the different internet accesses, and we don't know the scenarios that people are going into. So when you're coming up with a disaster recovery plan, obviously more will be detailed in our Word document, but you have to be very specific about how you're going to go about things. A better way to have gone about the work from home strategy would have been to ask them what would work best for them in accord, and then collaborate that with the plan that the organization has, for example. So you do a survey on who has Wi-Fi at home, and then you send those people back. But you don't send all of them. You send a few, so you see how it works out. See who works best at home and who works best at the office, so that you get a balance of some being at home and some being in the office, and we place the people in their best position to perform the best. We also have to determine the environments that people are going to. If they know they're going to an environment where they're not going to be able to perform, then you have to bring them. You have to make sure they're coming to the office. And another issue that came up was from my sibling, and that we talk a lot about it, is one of the people were asked to come back to the office, and they had kids, and the kids were it was the time when kids weren't allowed to be at school, or the preschools were closed, and it was a certain level where they were saying certain kids mustn't go back. Now there's bigger issues, so those specific things must be on a case-by-case basis, but also on a specific basis to determine what works best. Because now we'll hit a point where now we have people that are underperforming, not happy where they're situated, and their work is just not being done. So that's where I think they should have done better in the working from home strategy and the disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery plans differ from organization to organization and the situation that it may be. It may be a flood, it might be an IT situation, it might be what we in now, a pandemic. Could be anything like that, but you have to know beforehand what's the plan and what the plan is going to be. So thank you for listening to my part of the video. Yeah, thank you very much.